The Smith Cove Blue Carbon Pilot Project is a form of restoration aquaculture. Not only will it create additional salmon habitat, but it will also help us identify ways to remove carbon from our atmosphere. Just last night, we planted over 6,000 pounds of oyster shells with Olympia oysters, our native oyster, planted on top. These oysters were almost exterminated 100 years ago. The ability to have those oysters in the water allows them to, each one can strain about 2 gallons an hour, which will reduce the pollutants in the water, and we hope to get 1 million of them out there before this project is over. What's even more exciting to me is that we're going to also plant kelp and eelgrass this winter and spring, which not only does this help create habitat for salmon and then ultimately the whole food chain, including our endangered orcas, but it also absorbs CO2 from the atmosphere. And so this would be why we call it blue carbon. And by doing this, we also reduce the acidification in the water, because the carbon that's been absorbed from the atmosphere actually increases the acidity, which has then impacted our shellfish industry as well as the entire Puget Sound food chain, or anything that forms a shell, including plankton that feed our salmon. So this is also completely consistent with the port's long-term goals of the Century Agenda goals of restoring over 40 acres of marine habitats, as well as our aggressive greenhouse gas reduction goals. However, a project like this cannot be done without the collaboration of the folks like the Department of Natural Resources and the Puget Sound Restoration Fund. This is just another example where in the Great Northwest, we can both support the economy and the environment as well. Ivers may have his acres of clams, but we're going to have 25 acres of 1 million oysters, making both salmon habitat and the whole food chain up to the killer whale to benefit the entire region as well as our fishing community too. It's just doing the right thing.